Babylon is one of those names that feels larger than history. A city of kings, a city of walls, a city of blue gates, sacred streets, temples, legends, mathematics, astronomy, exile, conquest, and memory. Today, the ruins of Babylon stand near modern Hilla in Iraq, about 85 kilometers south of Baghdad. The landscape looks open and quiet now. Sunlight moves across mud brick walls. Reconstructed gateways rise from the dust. Aerial views reveal courtyards, processional roads, foundations, and the outline of a city that once shaped the imagination of the ancient world. But Babylon was never just a city. It was an idea. Its story reaches deep into Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, where some of the world's earliest cities, temples, laws, and writing systems developed. By the time Babylon became powerful, this region already carried thousands of years of urban life. And then Babylon rose. In the 18th century BC, King Hammurabi turned Babylon into the center of a major kingdom. His famous legal stele, carved in cuneiform, contained hundreds of judgments about property, labor, family, trade, injury, and responsibility. It shows us a world where power was written into stone, where law, kingship, and divine authority were presented as one system. Babylon was already becoming a capital of order, a place where rule was not only enforced, but displayed. But the Babylon remembered most vividly today is the city rebuilt more than 1,000 years later, under Nebuchadnezzar II. In the 6th century BC, Babylon became the heart of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. This was the age of monumental walls, royal palaces, sacred temples, and one of the most famous entrances in the ancient world, the Ishtar Gate. Imagine approaching the city from the north. Before you reached the heart of Babylon, you entered a ceremonial landscape. The Processional Way guided movement toward the sacred center. Its walls were lined with glazed brick reliefs. Lions stepped forward in repeated rows, symbols of the goddess Ishtar. At the gate itself, bulls and dragon-like mushushu creatures appeared in bright relief, linked with powerful Babylonian gods. The blue surface of the gate must have looked almost unreal against the sun-baked earth. Not stone pretending to be eternal. Brick transformed into color, rhythm, and divine protection. The Ishtar Gate was more than a gateway. It was a statement. Every animal, every brick, every line of decoration told visitors that Babylon was guarded by gods and ruled by a king who could reshape the city itself. Nebuchadnezzar rebuilt and expanded Babylon on a massive scale. He strengthened walls, raised streets, built palaces, restored temples, and placed the city's sacred center around Marduk, Babylon's great god. At the heart of that sacred world stood Esagila, the great temple complex of Marduk. Nearby rose Etemenanki, the giant ziggurat whose name meant the foundation of heaven and earth. To ancient eyes, this was not simply architecture. It was a connection between the human city and the cosmic order. a mountain of brick rising from the plain, a sacred axis between earth and sky. This is why Babylon became so powerful in memory. It was real, but it also became legendary. Greek writers described its walls and wonders. Later traditions connected it with the Tower of Babel. The Hanging Gardens became one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, even though their exact location remains uncertain and debated. Babylon stood at the edge between archaeology and imagination. A city documented in bricks, tablets, inscriptions, and ruins, but also expanded by stories told for more than 2,000 years. And yet, beneath the legends, Babylon was deeply human. It was a working city. Scribes pressed signs into clay tablets. Priests organized festivals. Merchants moved goods through streets and canals. Workers shaped mud brick. Astronomers watched the sky. Officials counted grain, silver, labor, and land. Families lived under the shadow of palaces and temples. Babylonian knowledge traveled far beyond the city itself. Its scribes preserved mathematical and astronomical traditions that influenced later worlds. Its name became attached to law, learning, exile, empire, and divine ambition. But power never stays still. In 539 BC, Cyrus the Great of Persia took Babylon. The city did not vanish overnight. It remained important under later empires. Alexander the Great entered Babylon centuries later and died there in 323 BC. But slowly, the political center shifted. The rivers changed. The temples declined. The city that once seemed impossible to ignore became a landscape of mounds, ruins, memories, and excavations. Modern Babylon is also a complicated place. Some structures visible today are ancient remains. Some are reconstructions. Some parts were rebuilt in modern times to help visitors imagine the scale of the city. The original decorated bricks of the Ishtar Gate were excavated in the early 20th century, and a major reconstruction now stands in Berlin. So when we look at Babylon today, we are seeing layers. Ancient Babylon, excavated Babylon, reconstructed Babylon, remembered Babylon. That is what makes this place so fascinating. Babylon is not only about what survives, it is about how a city becomes larger than itself. A capital becomes a symbol, a gate becomes an icon, a ziggurat becomes a story, a ruined landscape becomes one of the most recognizable names in human history. Babylon once stood as a city of walls, gods, kings, scholars, and ceremonies. Today, its ruins are quieter, but the name still carries weight, because Babylon was more than mud brick and empire. It was one of humanity's great attempts to build a city that touched heaven and to make power visible on earth.